Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says his country cannot take more refugees, and he's encouraging them to go to Europe. That translated into clashes at Turkey's border with Greece on Saturday. Some people threw stones, and Greek police fired tear gas to force people back. But that isn't stopping them, not all of whom are Syrian. Men, women, and children have been piling onto buses trying to reach Greece from Istanbul. Our senior international correspondent Arwa Damon has reported extensively from northern Syria, home to many of these refugees. She joins us now from the Turkish side of the border with Greece. Arwa, hello, and what is the latest there?
Well, just take a look at this. I mean, this is highly reminiscent of what we were seeing back in 2015 at the peak of the refugee crisis, the refugee flood from Turkey into Europe. This is one of the fields that is just up against Turkey's border with Greece. These people were telling us that they spent a couple of nights sleeping out in the open, and then they were encouraged to come in this direction. And they're walking towards what they think is going to be an open Greek border. They think this is it. You know, some of the people coming by have been waving their hands at us. But as the crowd grew on the other side of the border, we heard on a loudspeaker people being told to go back. There is quite a crowd that is amassed on the road right now. And on the other side of the concertina wire fence, there are a number of Greek security forces, vehicles. We're also able to see some security forces in riot gear. This is not an open border on the Greek side, Natalie, but these people really have no idea as they're walking towards it that they are going to be turned back. Now, as you were saying in the introduction there, Turkey is using these people as leverage against Europe on multiple fronts. Turkey is fed up with having to shoulder the burden of the refugee crisis on its own. It's home to upwards of 3.5 million of them, but it is also very angry at this stage with the West because Turkey feels as if it is inside Idlib province fighting against this regime advance on its own. And in Idlib province, you have another growing by the day humanitarian crisis as more and more people are being pushed up against Turkey's southern border. So it is a reaction to that. Turkey says it's going to open its northern border with Europe. But this is what happens when people's desperation and misery ends up being turned into some sort of a political weapon. You do have a scene here that we haven't seen much of throughout our coverage over the last few days, which is people being kind to those who are walking through. These are citizen residents from the area who are handing out water. We also saw them handing out baby diapers, baby formula as well to those who are coming by. When asked why, they said, "We need to do this. There are some of us here who have not yet lost our humanity." But for those who are trying to push through here, some of them say that they realize that they're being played as political pawns. They just don't care. This is a small sliver of hope that has been given to them, and they're going to do everything they can to try to grab it.